How has George Osborne's £81 billion worth of cuts gone down with investors? Well, let's find out now from Robert Talbut. He's Chief Investment Officer with Royal London Asset Management. Thank you so much for coming in. There's been so much concern that they would cut too much, they would actually cut the wrong things. And, you know, yesterday Fitch gave the green. They said, yes, actually, we're happy with what's been decided. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think from from a pure financial market perspective, I think the cuts were pretty much in line with expectations, what we were led to believe back in June, and they were pretty much distributed as we were expecting them to be. So I don't really think there was any great surprises in yesterday's announcement. I think what's going to be interesting is just how things pan out over the next few weeks and months as to whether they will be able to stick to the plans that they've actually announced.
Is it an ambitious plan? I mean, if they don't exactly meet the target, will it mean that you will change your view on UK equities because possibly we will lose that, you know, AAA credit rating?
It is an extremely ambitious programme. I don't think anyone should be under any illusions about that whatsoever. The degree of current expenditure is some of the worst that the UK has ever seen in the last 25 years. And to do it on a consistent basis over a number of years is a really big challenge for them. So I think it is going to be a real test for them. But sure, credit rating agencies, investors are going to be looking for them to hold to it as close as they possibly can.
I guess my point is, you know, it is ambitious. Is it better to have an overly ambitious plan and not stick to it completely than to have something which is manageable?
I think it's right to have an ambitious plan in place. I think that the UK needed to get away from its dependence upon public expenditure. But as I say, I think the way that, you know, the most important thing will be here and elsewhere, events over the next few months. What is going to happen to UK growth? You know, how robust is it going to be? What is the shape of the recovery likely to be into 2011? And that is going to really determine how strongly the government can actually stay to this particular path.
And you're right, at this point there's so much uncertainty out there. What does it mean exactly for your portfolio? I mean, would you be buying corporate bonds or gilts versus equities, or, you know, how do you position yourself? How much cash do you have, for example?
Yeah, actually I'm pretty cautious at the moment. I know that may be a little bit out of step with some of the mood around, but I'm just concerned with some of the policy measures that are actually being implemented.
Which
and
ones?
What impacts
the levies? The bank levies?
Well, no, in particular I'm looking at things like the QE2 that's actually being rumoured in the US, and the possibility that we may actually do more of that in the UK. I think that this is a very high-risk strategy with a very indeterminate outcome. And while it may be boosting risk assets at the moment, I'm concerned that it's actually building up false expectations.
That's very interesting. So that basically, because we're pumping too much liquidity for the next couple of years, we won't really grow, but we won't really suffer the... So is it just delaying the pain that we'll have to take at some point?
Yeah, my sense is that we've actually got to get used to the idea, as I think the Governor of the Bank of England actually said the last couple of days, that the next few years are likely to be a very sober outcome. And I think that a number of policymakers are struggling to actually accept that that really is going to be the reality for the next few years. You know, after the good times in the early years of this decade, perhaps there really has to be an extended payback period, which is a period of pretty subdued growth. But it's actually getting used to the idea that, you know, our expectations have to be much lower.
Yeah, it's really what Mervyn King was saying about the, you know, the sober decade. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your views.